It's March here in Maine, and that means that we need to get some seeds started for us gardeners. So today we're going to kind of walk through the process of getting some seeds started and get them growing on into seedlings before I can plant them out in the garden later on in the spring. Today I'm a little bit late in getting a few of them started. I need to start onions. I should have started them probably end of February, middle of February, but I was busy and it slipped by me. So I'm going to definitely get those started today and get them growing. I'm also going to work on some other varieties that I'll show you here. I have a lot of different herbs that I'm going to get started or attempt to start. I have some thyme, sage, parsley, oregano, and rosemary that I'm going to get started for herbs. These are my onion seeds. I ordered the yellow onions, Patterson variety. This time I'm going to try them out. I've never planted these before, so we'll see how they go. I also have some peppers that I'm hoping to get started today, some sweet peppers and some banana peppers. And then if we have time and enough soil left over, I have some pansies that I'd love to get started as well. So let's just go ahead and jump into the process of planting up these seeds. First thing I do is I need a pot of some sort to mix my soil up in. I have some seed starting mix soil that I got at Home Depot. I have a few pots to get my onions planted in, and we'll just get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump my seed starting mix soil right into this bowl. And then I want to get it moist. If I just put it into the seed starting packs dry like this, it makes it really hard to water the seeds in once I've planted the seeds. So I'm going to get a little bit of water, just moist enough so that when I squeeze a handful of dirt in my hands, it sticks together. You don't want it super wet, but you don't want it dry either. So I have my water right down here. I'm hoping this hose still works. It didn't get disconnected this winter, so I'm hoping it didn't freeze and split out or something like that. Let's see how this goes. A little bit of spraying, but not too bad. Alright, so now I'm just going to mix this dirt up with the water that I put in it, just with my hands. Feels good to have my hands back in soil again. Been waiting for this day for a while to be able to get back out in my greenhouse and get some seeds started. I mean, springtime is here. I live for warm weather and gardening season. Alright, now let's try the squeeze test. Pretty good. We could probably add a little bit more water. If I squeeze with all my might, it just barely stays together. So I'm going to put just a little bit more water in it. I learned this tip on moistening the soil and learning how to squeeze it to see if it's moist enough from Laura on Garden Answer. You can find her here on YouTube as well. She's been a great source of knowledge for me as I've learned how to garden. Alright, so here's my squeeze test. My soil's sticking together, but no water is running out of it, so we should be good to plant. So I'm going to take my container. I'm going to start with planting my sweet yellow onions first. I'm going to take my container, make sure it has some sort of drainage in it. You can see here, I don't know if you can see so well, but it's got holes in the bottom here. You're going to just fill it with dirt. Okay, so I have my container full of soil, and now we're going to get ready to stick my onion seeds in the soil. I order a lot of my seeds from Johnny's Seeds. They tend to be a really good company. I have good success with them. And I love all the information that they write on the back of the packets. It tells me exactly how deep I want to plant my seeds, what type of lighting it needs, how to really care for the seeds and get these seedlings going well. All right. You wipe my hands off a little so you can see the seeds in my hands and what they look like when I dump them into my. That's what the onion seeds look like. And so I'm going to just scatter them all over the top of my soil here and kind of push them in about a 1/4 inch deep, and they should be good to go. Do you guys have a specific type of onion that you like to plant in your gardens? I am new to onion planting. I've only done it 1 year. I planted yellow, sweet Spanish, something like that, last year, and they did pretty well. I started them from seed. They did pretty well, but I'm still testing out different varieties and trying to see which are best for storage through the winter, which do best in our area, things like that. So this year I'm trying out a hybrid yellow onion called Patterson. So I've just broadcasted all these seeds into my tray. Now I'm just covering them over. I'm out here in my greenhouse planting. I can't keep these seeds out here exactly yet because the greenhouse isn't heated and it still gets too cold at night for seeds to try to germinate and grow out here. So I'll be taking everything that I plant today into our sunroom, into our house, and I'll show you that setup once we get in there. Okay, so I'm going to plant another tray of these onions to use up all the seeds in my packet. And there you have it, 2 trays of onions planted and ready to sprout here. Probably take about a week to germinate or so. I'm going to show you up close the package of onions that I planted. Hopefully you can see that okay. And I'll let you know at the end of the growing season how they did, and I'm going to experiment through the fall and winter and see how they store. I'm hoping they're a good storage onion, as well as tasty to eat. I'll water these in once I take them inside to our greenhouse, to our sunroom. So let's move on to the next thing that I'm going to plant. I want to get some herbs started. So the first one I think I'll start is actually parsley that my dad saved me some seed from his plants in Canada and gave to me at Christmas time. So this is actual seed that he saved from his parsley plants. And I'm going to plant some to get going in my garden. Anything that I know about gardening, I learned from my dad. He's a great gardener, and he's full of tips and tricks and wisdom on how to garden well. So I guess I got my love of gardening from him, and I've learned a lot from him. I'm going to start out with parsley. Let me get a little container to put those seeds in. I have these little 6-pack cell containers that I'll end up planting most of my seeds in this year. So with that, all you want to do is just fill your pack up with soil. Got some kiddos saying hi through the window. All right, here we go. Let's see if I can get these tiny little seeds in here. So I'm just going to make a little dot with my finger, about 1/4 to 1/2 inch deep. Dump some seeds into my hand. And then try to not dump all of the seeds into one hole. Alright, so this is vermiculite. It just is very loose, sandy looking soil, and all I do is just sprinkle it on the top. It helps retain moisture, but also doesn't block out the light, and that should help those seeds germinate better. I saw a neat idea on Facebook this morning. I think it was a Facebook Reels. If you take a little pot, let me see if I can find a pot like this that has all these holes in the bottom, you can just put your vermiculite in here and sprinkle it over your pot, and it acts like a little sifter or sander to sprinkle it. If you want to get that fancy. I'm not that fancy. I'll just use my hand to sprinkle it over. If you don't have vermiculite, it's not the end of the world. You'll probably still end up with some germination. It just makes things a little bit easier, that's all. Gardening can be as complicated or as easy as you want it, as simple or as fancy as you want it. So you don't have to go out and buy all of these different equipment and products to actually get a seed to germinate. It's pretty simple if you really want it to be. Try that. See how that is. Is that better?
Yep.
Okay. So we have sage and thyme left to plant for herbs. Which one would you like to plant first?
Can
plant some thyme? Yes, you can.
Yeah, we're planting thyme.
We're planting thyme. Yes, we are. Can Emma have a turn?
Sure.
Okay. So crawl up on the stool.
Remember when I was little, I used that little shovel over there and dig little holes
Yes, you did.
to pretend I was crazy and finding fossils.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to plant some sage. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take some soil and we're going to put it in these containers, the cells.
The quickest way is to use both.
Okay. Quickest way is to use both hands. Okay, we've got everything all planted, so now it's time to take all these little seeds inside where it's nice and warm in the sunroom, get them watered, and get them under the grow lights. So welcome to my sunroom. This is my setup that I have for our seedlings once I've planted the seeds and it's still too chilly to keep them out in the greenhouse. I bring them in here to the sunroom. We have a couple of folding tables that we bought at Home Depot, and then my husband Matt made these frames out of PVC pipe to hold some grow lights on. We just bought these lights at Home Depot as well, correct? And we just hang them from these PVC frames that Matt built, and it gives the seeds the light that they need to be able to grow. We set it up on a timer, so the lights plug into the wall over here, and we have it on a timer, so the lights come on about 6 o'clock in the morning and they'll go off about 9 o'clock in the evening, to give the plants the proper amount of light they need to be able to germinate and grow well. So before the spring is out, this room will fill right up. I usually have 2 of these tables stacked wide here, and they're full of trays of seedlings, and then I have more pots on the floor and on the windowsill back here and everywhere. So this will kind of be the grow room until it gets warm enough out in the greenhouse to stay there all night. So now what I just need to do is water in my seedlings. I haven't watered them yet. I like to use a spray bottle. You can use pretty much whatever you have on hand that'll pour water. Just go gently when you water them. I use a spray bottle because it's a fine mist and it'll water the seeds in really well without dislodging them. And so I just go ahead and spraying my seeds like this, get them all nice and wet. Okay, so we've got them all watered in. The last thing you want to do is stick your humidity dome over the top of your trays. This just helps keep the moisture in until the seedlings are germinated. Kind of acts like a little greenhouse for them. All right, and there you have it. We got quite a few seeds in the soil today, ready to plant, ready to germinate. And so should be a couple weeks here, and we'll be seeing little plants sprout up. I'd love to know down in the comments what you guys are planting this time of year, what you like to plant and grow in your gardens. Let me know in the comments below. I love hearing what other people are putting in their gardens. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a comment, like, or subscribe, and we'll see you next time.